It's time for Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero. When it comes to news on 95.1 FM, weather always comes first. A stationary boundary bisecting the Florida Peninsula will be the focus for thunderstorm activity across much of the state over the next several days. A complex of storms slowly moving through south central Florida will produce heavy to excessive rainfall, leading to significant flash flooding. Storms are going to move off into the Keys and reload for another round of storms tomorrow. Temperatures will moderate a bit, particularly over the Four Corners as well as California's Central Valley, where excessive heat warnings and watches will come to an end. Anomalous temperatures should shift into the northwest and northern tier late this week beneath that ridge. In the meantime, excessive heat warnings and advisories remain in effect across parts of the southwest into western Texas. Closer to home, our current heat wave looks to continue for the next several days. Temperatures will reach their peak today before dropping back a couple of degrees, heading into the weekend thanks to a weak weather system moving through. Rainfall is going to be limited only to higher terrain, leaving most of the area with a continuation of dry conditions and dangerous heat. The National Weather Service has issued a heat advisory in effect now through Saturday. Be sure to drink plenty of fluids, remain in air-conditioned rooms, stay out of the sun, and check up on relatives and neighbors. Also, take extra precautions if you go outside. Wear lightweight and loose-fitting clothing. Try to limit strenuous activities to early morning or evening. And take action if you see symptoms of heat exhaustion and heat stroke. To reduce the risk during outdoor work, OSHA recommends scheduling frequent rest breaks in shaded or air-conditioned environments. Anyone overcome by heat should be moved to a cool and shaded location. Heat stroke is an emergency. Call 911. We'll have another look at the weather following this news. The Alamogordo Police Department, as well as the Otero County Sheriff's Department, extend their gratitude to everyone that came out to the Beyond the Call of Duty event yesterday afternoon to honor Officers Anthony Ferguson and James Sides. A special thanks going out to the New Mexico State Police, Alamogordo Fire Department, the State of New Mexico Office of the 12th Judicial District Attorney, the Alamogordo Code Enforcement, and the Beyond the Call of Duty organization.
The summer reading program is happening now at the Alamogordo Public Library. This year, the theme is Adventure Begins at Your Library. Join us as we work on pre-reading skills and have some fun with stories and a craft. We do the same thing each week, so pick the day that works best for you that week. Summer Storytime attendees and participants should be registered for the summer reading program. Registration is free and ongoing. The program is free and meets from 10:30 to 11:30 at 920 Oregon Avenue. For more information, please call 575-439-4140. For Alamogordo Town News, I'm Kirk DeSoto.
The Republican Party of Otero County's monthly meeting is being called War on Food. That's happening June 27th at 6 p.m. at the new headquarters located inside White Sands Mall, right next to Big Lots. Keynote speakers are going to include John Henry. He's a candidate for state representative. Also, rancher Darrell Brown will be on hand. There is a potluck, so bring your best dish. It might be the last time you want to share. Animal Village NM continues to provide dog and cat food for families in need.
Thanks to our donors, we were able to provide more than 700 pounds of cat and dog food to these food banks.
Sonny Aris speaking with Crazy Radio.
In Alamogordo, contact Love Inc., 1106 Ohio Street, next to Lowe's Market. In Ruidoso, contact Lincoln County Food Bank, 138 Service Road, first times and days of operation.
More information is available by visiting animalvillagenm.org. Well, today is Thursday. Time for a Thursday Thought from my good friend, and hopefully yours, Laura Noble.
Good morning, 95.1 listeners. This is Pastor Lauren with our Thursday Thought. I was listening to the song Cats in the Cradle the other day by Harry Chapin, and it got me to thinking about the song and the particular line, the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. But in the 1700s in England, if a child was found dead in their crib, it was said that the cat was in the cradle and sucked the life out of the child. I don't know where they came up with that notion exactly, but they did. And obviously the line, the silver spoon, came from the wealthy and having the silver spoon in your mouth, as the saying goes. That song in a way reflects both of those when I looked at it, because it's about a father who was so busy trying to give the son the best life and luxury, but it literally sucked the childhood out of the child because he really didn't have a life. He pretty much seemed to be a loner in the song. And I wonder if people don't do that today and get so busy trying to give their kids the best life that they don't spend time with them. And it kind of robs them of their childhood or just sucks the life out of them in a way. And let me say a prayer for us. Father, help us to spend time with our children and grandchildren and not rob them of childhood, because money does not buy time and it does not buy memories and lasting things that they will look at later on in their life. They may be just too busy for us later on. We never know. But we need work in that area. Amen. But until we meet up again on the airwaves, give your song Cats in the Cradle by Harry Chapin a listen and see what you think about it and let us know.
Lauren Noble's Thursday Thought was sponsored by Second Life Media.
Yesterday, KTSM TV in El Paso released a feature that they call Small Town Spotlight. And this go around, it was on Alamogordo.
I always tell everybody, no matter where you've lived in the country, Alamogordo is just a little bit different. And we're different because we're a very close-knit kind of community. We really try to help each other out. We're a friendly community. We're very welcoming, very inviting.
Mayor Susan Payne speaking with KTSM. You can see the piece in full by visiting KTSM.com. There's also features on the Heart of the Desert, the Space Museum, and the Flickering Center, whatever that is. News from around the state in just a moment. This is Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.
Directory Plus is the right size book. It's the book if you need a phone book.
That's what just one person has to say about Directory Plus. With its red cover, features, colorful yellow pages, and lots more, it's no wonder people all over use Directory Plus.
It has so much more information. You can cross-check phone numbers or addresses or pretty much anything.
Look on the plus side, Directory Plus.
I'm a big fan of Directory Plus.
Local news from local perspectives, from local voices. AlamogordoTownNews.org. Local sports, local events, and local happenings and more. Nonprofit owned and operated by Second Life Media. We are Otero County. AlamogordoTownNews.org. Heard daily on Crazy KALH Radio 95.1.
Another death near Sunland Park. A young woman has died after she was pulled out of the Rio Grande early yesterday morning. That's according to the Sunland Park Fire Department. Border Patrol agents pulled the woman out of the Rio Grande River behind the Rio Grande power plant. Fire officials and Border Patrol agents performed CPR, but she did not survive. The fire department says the woman was in her 20s. No other information has been released. Last summer, Border Patrol found multiple migrants traveling in the desert in Donna Ana County. One died of heat exposure, and the now 40-year-old Mexican national, Rafael Radillo Bernal, has received a federal prison sentence for his role in that incident. Two witnesses claim that Radillo Bernal was a foot guide helping smuggle illegal migrants into America. Radillo Bernal pled guilty to transporting illegal aliens, resulting in death. A federal judge sentenced him to a 10-year prison sentence, after which he will face deportation proceedings. Tyrone at City Nez, 34 of Sanasti, was sentenced to prison for beating his friend to death during a drunken altercation. He pled guilty to voluntary manslaughter. The victim went to Nez's home to help fix a water heater back in June of 2022. And during that visit, the two began to drink and then started roughhousing. At one point, Nez beat his friend unconscious. Neighbors called 911, and when the Navajo Nation police arrived, Nez admitted to punching and kicking his friend. The medical examiner listed the cause of death as blunt head trauma with contusions, fractures, internal bleeding, and brain swelling. Nez was sentenced to 12 years in prison, followed by 5 years of supervised release. In the last legislative session, no reforms were made to oil and gas regulations, despite bills to impose fines for oil spills, limit freshwater use, and create buffers around schools. Looking forward to next year's session, the Legislative Finance Committee met in oil-rich southeastern New Mexico on Tuesday in order to discuss reintroducing one of those failed proposals, setbacks for wells. Setbacks would prohibit oil and gas drilling within a certain distance of homes, highways, schools, and surface water. Republican Senator William Scherer questioned the effectiveness of such a buffer, arguing more data is needed.
If we're going to set back, how far do you have to set it back for it to make an actual difference? 100 yards? 100 miles? 1,000 miles?
Republican Representative Catherine Brown echoed those concerns. She said the committee needed more information about the health impacts of emissions before moving forward.
I think we all want to live healthy. There's no debate about that. But what I see here is a true lack of science.
Me personally, I would also be severely concerned about the economic impact to the region. Democratic Senator George Munoz, the head of the interim committee, criticized the State Environment Department for not attending the meeting to share its expertise with the panel. When the department was absent due to scheduling conflicts, Munoz said the committee could use its subpoena power to compel it to testify in the future.
If we need to get to the truth and really need to resolve some issues, we'll get there.
Jorge Estrada, spokesman for the Environment Department, declined to comment on what was said during the meeting since department officials were not present. Once again, the land of enchantment is at the bottom of the list. New Mexico ranked 50th for child well-being in the 2024 Kids Count Report, which measures each state's child well-being throughout 4 key areas: economic well-being, education, health, as well as family and community. New Mexico came in dead last out of all 50 states when they compared these categories with the rest of the country. The state was ranked 48th in economic well-being. This includes issues like children living in poverty and kids whose parents don't have stable employment. Education? Well, New Mexico was ranked dead last. Our numbers actually worsened in 3 out of 4 subcategories, including 4th graders who are proficient in reading, 8th graders proficient in math, and young kids not being in school at all. Now, one area that we did improve in was high schoolers graduating on time. New Mexico ranked 49th in health and community, but if there is a silver lining here, we did improve in almost every area, including the number of teen childbirths. One category that we're not at the bottom of the list is child hunger. Sadly, the land of enchantment has the 8th highest hunger rate in America.
1 in 5 children still are at risk of hunger, and 1 in 7 people overall. And really what that means is that, it's families who are experiencing hunger. It's multi-generational households that are experiencing hunger.
Sonia Warwick with the Roadrunner Food Bank speaking with KOB. Folks, if you need help, just remember, putting food on the table is as simple as a phone call. Organizations such as Love Inc., as well as the Alamogordo and Tularosa schools, are offering meals. Weather is next. This is Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.
This is Lieutenant William Skaggs with Alamogordo Fire Department. Have you seen that we're updating the City of Alamogordo's local hazard mitigation plan? What does this mean for our community? This means our community has a chance to provide information to Alamogordo Fire Department so we can properly plan for hazards within our community. We need feedback from the community to make sure our plan is up to date. If you have any questions or concerns, you can contact Chief Jerry Ramirez at Alamogordo Fire Department, or you, the stakeholder in our community, can go to alamogordofd.com or the City of Alamogordo website and take the individualized survey to provide us with information to update our plan.
The National Weather Service has issued a heat advisory in effect through Saturday. Be sure to drink plenty of fluids, remain in air-conditioned rooms, stay out of the sun, and check up on relatives and neighbors. Take extra precautions when you're outside. Wear lightweight and loose-fitting clothing. Try to limit strenuous activities to early morning or evening. Take action when you see symptoms of heat exhaustion and heat stroke. To reduce risk during outdoor work, OSHA recommends scheduling frequent rest breaks in shaded or air-conditioned environments. Anyone overcome by heat should be moved to a cool and shaded location. Heat stroke is an emergency. Call 911. Your Crazy Radio spot-on weather forecast for the Tularosa Basin today calls for increasing cloudiness, and it will be hot. Winds will gust as high as 12 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tonight, winds gusting as high as 17. Mostly sunny and hot tomorrow, winds gusting as high as 25. Your high today in the basin, 105. Low tonight of 75. High tomorrow, 102 degrees. In Cloudcroft, increasing cloudiness with winds gusting as high as 15 miles per hour. Mostly cloudy tonight with winds gusting as high as 20. Mostly sunny tomorrow with a 20% chance of showers and storms, winds gusting as high as 25. Your high today in Cloudcroft, 82. Low tonight of 57. High tomorrow, 79 degrees. Local breaking news can be found on our website, alamogordotownnews.org, and learn more about Crazy Radio by visiting KALHradio.org. Also, check out the Crazy KALH Radio YouTube channel. That's where we post our daily newscasts, complete interviews, and other information which concerns everyone in the Tularosa Basin. Be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel if you've not done so already. That way you too can remain informed of the goings-on in the Tularosa Basin. That concludes today's edition of Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.